Hey everyone, my name is Meera. Welcome back to my channel. How have you been? I remember it was around June, July that I really wanted to film the mid-year book freakout tag, and then it was July, August, September, and I still hadn't gotten a chance to do that. But it still would have been on brand for me to film a mid-year book tag way past the mid-year mark. Now that is November, I thought might as well skip that and get right down to filming the end of the year book tag. 2020 has been flying past in the blink of an eye, and I am really glad for this year to be over. I hope things turn out to be much better for all of us next year around. So let me know how you've been, what's been going on, what books you're reading, have you developed some new tastes in reading? I would really like to know from you. I've filmed this tag once before last year, and it's quite a fun tag. It was created by Ariel Bissett. I will be linking her original tag video in the description, and in case you're a booktuber too, if you want to film this tag, then consider yourself tagged. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So first of all, I don't ever abandon books midway with the intention to pick them up later. I will either finish them when I've started reading them, or it's a DNF for me. So no, there are no books that I've started this year that I still have yet to finish reading. Next, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Around this time of the year, I start reading more books that are spooky, creepy, books that are set during the winter, maybe ones that have some holiday, vacation plot points going on. So there's no specific book that I read around this time of the year. It's just a specific kind of book, if you know what I mean. Something about the winters just makes it so much more comfy and engaging to read these kind of books. Like this year, I am so glad that I finally finished reading Dracula by Bram Stoker. I feel like I've had this book on my shelves for about 6 to 7 years now, and I really don't know why I haven't picked it up so far. It is so good. It's a delicious gothic fiction. If you haven't read it, you really must. Let me know if there's a specific book that you tend to turn to around this time of the year. Next, is there a new release you're still waiting for? I don't think so. The two books by Colleen Hoover that I was really looking forward to reading this year, Heartbones and Regretting You, they're both out. Mexican Gothic is also out. To Sleep in a Sea of Stars is already out, which I'm currently reading, by the way. So there will be a reading vlog on the book really soon. Stay tuned for that. What else? I don't think there are any other books that I had been looking forward to reading, particularly this year. But yeah, I don't think there's any other new release that's on my most anticipated 2020 TBR list. Next, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So it's always around this time of the year that I realize how I've completely abandoned my must read this year list, and I've been reading all other kinds of books, and then I'm just trying to rush with those books. But yeah, that's just me. What can we do about it? The 3 books that I really want to finish reading before the year ends are The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. I have told myself that I've been putting off reading this for way too long, and there's simply no more excuse to do that. So this will happen for sure. It's a mythology retelling, and if you're interested in books like that, then I would recommend it to you, even though I haven't read it, because I know it's going to be great. The second book that I'm definitely going to finish reading before the year ends is Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood. I watched the TV show adaptation, I think a couple of years ago, and fell in love with it. So I am so pumped to be reading this, because if a TV show was that good, definitely the book has to be good. Plus Margaret Atwood, like, you can't go wrong with that. This is a historical fiction about a woman who gets accused of killing her employer, and so I think from the perspective of a psychologist or a counselor, we get to hear her story, and he's trying to get to the bottom of this mystery to find out whether she's actually the culprit or not. The third book that I'm going to pick up soon, probably next week, is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. It is also a historical fiction. It has this great atmosphere of suspense and mystery in it. It's such a classic. You've heard enough about it, and I don't need to tell you more. But I'm really looking forward to reading that and then watching the movie that came out this year. It's on Netflix. But I like to do that. I like to read books and then watch their screen adaptations, because I'm almost always very confident about the fact that the screen adaptation can't be much better than the book, right? So yeah, those were the three books that I plan to finish reading before the year ends. Next question, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I don't think so. I've read such brilliant books this year. I mean, don't get me wrong, the three titles that I just mentioned, I know that they will rank pretty high up on my top 2020 reads, but I feel like my absolute favorite read of this year is one that I read earlier, way earlier this year, and you will get to know which one that is in my yearly wrap up video. But let's see if you can guess. Maybe take a guess and see which one that would be. If you've been following me on Instagram or here, then you'll probably know. So I don't think there's any book that I could read now which will become my top 2020 read. But yeah, this year has been great in terms of certain books that I've discovered and certain books that I had been procrastinating reading about, but they're just so good and I don't know why I didn't get to them sooner. And the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2021? No. So the thing is, I don't ever just sit down at one time and make all my reading plans for the future. It's more of a gradual experience. Like over the course of time, I realize what are certain new things I want to be doing, new reading habits I want to take up, or new genres that I want to try, and realize that, a certain kind of book is not working for me, how my perception towards certain topics, certain subject matters has been changing. It's just something that I learn over time, so there's never a point in time where I'm just sitting down and I'm like, this is what I'm going to do next year, this is what I'm going to do. No, that doesn't happen. But certain things that I can tell you I'm going to be doing differently next year is to continue reviewing books that I read. This was a reading resolution I made in the start of 2020, and I feel really, really happy to tell you that I have been reviewing every book that I have read this year. So that's a habit I'm going to continue next year as well. And I've also read a lot of classics that I have been putting off reading. So those are a couple of things that I know I'm going to continue doing next year. I will be making another video about my reading habits and resolutions for 2021. So those were the questions for the end of the year book tag, and as always, I really enjoy filming book tag videos. If there are ones that you know of which I haven't done before, then please do let me know and I would love to film those as well. I am not making any promises about how frequently I'm going to continue filming videos for this channel, but I hope you understand that it's something I really enjoy doing, reading books and talking about them. So thank you for all the support that you've been showing me so far. Even though I have been MIA on this channel over the past couple of months, you all have been so supportive and sweet and kind. The comments I've been receiving, some of them have just made my day. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon in another video. Bye!